Evil loves children, and children love evil.
This is the Horrible Film School. Take a seat and slowly peel open your Trapper Keepers. I am Chris, and I am here with Professor Hootie.
What's up, boys? This movie's got me really wanting some goat cheese.
Definitely some goat lovers.
Some goat head cheese, as it were.
Hey,
for the old charcuterie board.
Ooh, charcuterie. I like that. Also joined by the one, the only, Rotten Man, Professor Joy, a.k.a. Dr. Nasty.
Boy, if I was as loved as much as Demian Hrukna hates kids, like if somebody gave me the love, like the same amount of love for the hate that he gives kids, I would never need love the rest of my life. I would be so...
Yeah, this dude
fucking hates kids.
He dunks on some child actors.
Hey, I enjoy the fact that he does stuff that others cannot do.
It's definitely like not an American audience type of situation here. Unless you're making The Mist.
Oh, yes. And that was only
Fuck
one
that
kid.
movie. Yeah, fuck that, by the way. And it was off camera. I got a few news tidbits here, boys, courtesy of the internet. First, seems like this franchise is top of the mind as far as the horror community is concerned. The second installment in that 28 Years Later trilogy that we've been talking about has a title, 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, has been dated for a January 2026 release and is directed by Nia DaCosta, who you may know from the most recent Candyman movie.
Is the January premiere kind of tank this film?
Yeah, January is often referred to as Dumpuary in the critical world of movie making.
I don't know if that's a
But
good
that's more of
sign.
an Oscar type thing. Horror movies don't really fit the mold, I don't think. If you made like a prestige movie, a drama, you just dump it here because you don't want anybody to see it. But a
I
horror
really
movie,
like this franchise. Like, I guess, is it a franchise with two movies? Can you call it a franchise?
well, the fact that they got a third in production, then I would say for sure now, yes.
Yeah, but it's like, where's the fan outcry for this to like finally become so in demand? To where it
Why is it being serialized?
To where it would be now be greenlit for a fourth part that's actually like a sequel to the third part.
The fact that they're making them simultaneously seems like it was an order, like a TV show. Yeah,
it's like it's giving me pause.
Like Walking Dead vibes.
Yes, like I'm getting Fear the Walking Dead situation here.
Is this like PTSD from The Strangers Part 1, Part 2, Part 3?
Part 2, Part 3. With one director. Yeah, I get your point there, and I think I was definitely excited when the OGs came back for the third movie, the franchise, right?
Oh yeah.
I thought it was going to be.
This doesn't diminish any of the excitement I have for 28 years later, like at all. Like
But
I'm
the
still
fact
just
that it
excited.
already has
But
a side project is a little. You think Nia DaCosta has seen the 28 Years Later at this point? How do you even create off of the world there?
Well, I think you at this point the actual like world, like the world building's already established. Like everybody knows.
We haven't seen 28 Years Later though. We've seen 28 Weeks Later.
Yeah, but it's like it's going to be a different part of the world. It's going to be his own interpretation of how it's like in that part of the world. Like we all know,
someone gave me this assignment.
We know
like
the
movie.
rage virus. We know like what's going on.
Yeah, but I want to know like
this is going to be
what
the
rules of
fallout.
the zombies now. You know, like how does it work at this point?
I just want to know if Idris Elba's coming back.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I do love some Idris. Comes back as James Bond zombie. Yes.
It finally happened.
We finally got it. Also, speaking of franchise fodder, the Anaconda franchise is slithering its way
I heard about
back
this.
into theaters with a brand new reboot from Sony, and it's coming to theaters Christmas Day 2025, starring Paul Rudd and Jack Black.
Is this fake news?
Nah, there's a video of them hugging each other while they talk about it, dog.
I cannot
Who is
wait
asking
for
Talking into camera, bro.
the Jack Black parody music video of Anaconda. Because
Like
my
peaches,
anaconda
peaches,
don't.
peaches, peaches, peaches.
My
That's pretty
anaconda don't. My anaconda don't want none unless you got buns, hun. And then he does like a little thing where he spins back to the camera and smacks his ass.
Is Tenacious D is on hiatus?
Oh yeah,
correct?
Kyle was running that mouth about Trump.
Is he
boy.
solo now?
Got
Yeah, he
gas
was like,
had to
fuck
calm
that guy.
down.
He got put back. He got fucking benched.
He was in Australia when he did it, so I'm not sure if it really counts, but whatever. Paul Rudd, I mean, that's some star power attached there. Who is going to be doing? Who is Mateo, and who is John Voight in this situation? That's the only two characters that need to come back.
Mateo.
Jack Black as John Voight's character. That's what the fuck I want to see. The younger version. It's a prequel of fucking John Voight.
I'm assuming they're not going to bring. Is it a remake? Is it a sequel?
It said reboot movie from Sony. That's the vernacular I saw in the news article.
So Mateo and John Voight's not going to be in the film.
They're in play, dog. They are in play.
Mateo drive the book.
I want to see younger John Voight as Jack Black before the accent. Finally, one more piece here. This reminded me of Joey. Had to shout out for him. Actor Jared Leto, who was recently in the vampire film
You ain't got no
Morbius
beef.
and Disney's Haunted Mansion, is set to play Skeletor in the live-action Masters of the Universe movie.
No fucking course he is.
How
Who's
fucking
fucking
awesome
asking
is
for
that?
this?
Every 5-year-old boy who is now clearly close to 40 years old.
Oh my god! This whole news section is just like cash grabs.
Reheats, baby.
I've been watching clips of him as the Joker.
Oh,
Here
Jesus.
recently a lot on YouTube, and I just been laughing so fucking hard.
Did you guys watch Folie à Deux?
When he talks about giving Batman a reach around in the fucking in the
Yeah,
Snyder
that was
cut.
the thing. It's
I've
funny. I
never
was
seen
talking. You didn't see Folie à Deux?
No, I didn't. I didn't
It
want.
was definitely different and weird and not for everybody. I get what they were going
Is
for.
it
but
as bad as everybody makes it seem?
it depends on what you thought of the first movie, I think, honestly.
Really? What if let's say I really enjoyed the first movie?
I really enjoyed the first one. I said this one was just kind of average, but
Really?
if you hated the first movie, then you would really fucking hate this
Here
one.
the
That's all I'll
like
say.
the ending like is a slap in the face to a lot of diehard fans of.
Yeah, it's got some controversy
movies,
around its implications as far as I don't even know what the DC universe is called anymore, but I'd say it's worth a watch. Don't go in excited though. Don't go in
Worth
excited.
a watch, but don't go in excited.
Yeah,
I'm glad
like
I watched it.
$200 million like box
Okay.
office for that first movie, right?
Oh, and that made $1 billion.
Fucking billion.
The Joker made $1 billion. Nuts.
Don't go in excited. Like
I mean, don't go in saying I hyped you up, but I'd say to watch it. There are way worse movies I've seen this year that did not get shit on as hard as that movie did. I'll say that much.
prime example.
Name it.
I just lost the name, but Megapolis.
Really? That was
Oh,
bad,
I've
huh?
heard- I've heard that was bad.
Yes. It didn't get shit on like this, but it was definitely worse in my mind. All right, moving on. Today's assignment is a bit of controversy here around release date. I'm going to go with the original 2023's When Evil Lurks. Lesson for today, there's no point in praying. Pretty clean, unique tagline for 2023. I don't think I've heard that one before.
I
When
think
you Go ahead. Eddie.
that's the second one. Is that he hates kids and he hates religion.
Yeah, definitely unique for the South American director, Mr. Damien Rugna. I'm going to say Rugna.
Rugna. You got to roll that R.
Yeah, this was my choice. I saw this poster. It popped up on like a list of horror movies for the year. It has a really cool image. Never dug into what it was about. Kind of just blindside grabbed it based on some suggestions. So yeah, I will be hosting said film today, boys.
Before we go any further, what's the whole controversy behind the release date?
At American release date, depends on your source as to when this is credited by. If you look at, I think IMDb will say 2023, Rotten Tomatoes may say 2024.
Oh.
It's one of those international film.
I heard a
film
lot of like
festival type
interviews
deals.
or paid attention to a lot of interviews for this movie. Probably more so than any other movie we've covered. And it was I think they said it had the same release weekend theatrically that The Exorcist Believer did.
So that would have been 2024. No. Or was that last year? That was 2023.
Yeah. I think it was like towards the end of the year.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen it listed as both. I think it popularized, I guess, in 2024. Like I've seen it on several like Reddit posts saying this is the best movie of 2024. But it's got 2023 written all over it. So I don't.
Did they not see fucking Megalopolis? The fuck?
They didn't watch Joker, Folie à Dieu, or Mufasa. It's weird to say that we're in 2025 already, man. It feels like the future.
Oh yeah, Happy New Year, everybody.
Isn't that weird? Speaking
quarter
of confusing
century
years. Now we could talk about it's been 25 years since Ja Rule was king of the pop charts.
Since Oops, She Did It Again.
Damn it, is that right?
I don't know.
Who do you act like doesn't have the vinyl right there behind him?
What was that song with him and J-Lo? How the fuck did that shit go?
Was it? Nah.
I could hear it in like my head.
Arguing on the phone, yeah.
It's like a fucking...
'Cause I'm real.
Yes.
Where you talk, the way you move, the way you walk.
I don't know that song at all.
I'm real. Look up I'm Real by J-Lo. You're going to love it.
I'm real. Okay.
I'm real. Who do you have to say it like the whitest man alive?
I'm real. Okay, I'm about to check that on my... I'm about to go to the
real.
library and get that disc. What's on laser disc?
Excuse me, ma'am. Do you have Ja Rule's I Am Real?
I am real. You mean I'm real?
Let me check
I've
out
heard
this
it's
new
quite the
ringtone. I'm just first person to have a fucking ringtone on his phone in 15 years.
It's quite a little ditty they got going there. You can't say ditty in 2025. That's all.
Is there an MP3? Can I look up an MP3 file for I'm Real?
Oh, simpler times. Anyway, moving on. Since it's my movie, take a charge. Start with some fan reviews here. This is from December 4th of 2024, so just 1 month ago, by a user on IMDb, Neil Silverius. Anyway, titled "When Boredom Lurks."
Whoa!
Pretty great title there.
That's actually really good. This is going to be an exciting review.
Okay, first, the good points about this film. It had great visuals, consistent with what many decent horror films have. An excellent color palette. Character development is generally good. However, this is where it all goes downhill. I did not feel sympathetic to a single character in this film. These characters seem to be complete idiots and unable to follow instructions or had to repeat instructions which themselves were nonsensical. The plot is nonsensical, incoherent, and bloated. There is no true explanation of why this version of evil, if you could call it that, exists. There is a reason why films like The Exorcist and The Witch provide an atmosphere and story, and why this film is just a silly waste of time. Yes, it may be different than standard horror fare. It may be different than standard horror fare, but that is about it. 2 out of 10. It's different. That'll make it good. I guess that's his point.
I actually do see his point about the sympathies for the characters. In my personal
You think that's a
opinion.
cultural thing?
It may be, but I talk about it a little bit in my actual like wrap-up review. Like my wrap-up review is a little bit different than it normally is. But that's like one of the key negatives for me is the way the film paces itself at one point. It's hard for me to sit there and have time to grieve and actually feel any sort of empathy towards these characters.
I think that is exactly the opposite for me, to where I just loved
Hootie likes that shit.
the pace.
Oh, you just smash
mowing
somebody's
through
head.
bodies. Just
Go to the
like-
next one.
I loved
If we're
it.
gonna-
I enjoyed it. Trust me. But if the film's point is to make me feel sad for some of these people,
I don't think
really
it
hard
is.
to fucking do.
I never felt sad for any of the characters. Well, maybe the main guy, Pedro, but the rest of them is just like,
You didn't feel
let's
sad
see
for
what-
Jair when he was shitting himself?
Oh, 'cause I knew we was going to have this
Oh,
discussion
here it
on the
goes.
show. As soon as Jair, I was like, oh, God,
I saw Joey just he took his pinky and he just plucked Hootie's little heartstring right there. I saw
have
it.
to, like, John McClane on glass on this topic.
He's doing one of those. About that.
I just don't think that I know a large part of the audience out there always wants an explanation for these kind of films.
I love that it's ambiguous.
Yeah, I don't need one.
You don't want to feel something in a movie like this? I guess is that what you're saying?
I feel like I've never been to a country where they don't speak English. I've been out of the country, but not to a country that obviously don't speak English. It's cool to watch a film, and I feel like I'm learning about an Argentinian culture. I mean, obviously it's not true, but you feel like a tourist while watching the movie, which is it's kind of a cool feeling.
Definitely to different sensibilities. This is not how, because we've been watching American movies for 100 years, you know, this is not how they are made. It's a different way of making a movie based on a different perspective.
I actually like going into the movie and not knowing really where we are in terms of, like, yes, I know we're
setting,
in Argentina. I know that. But I'm talking about in terms of, we don't know where we are in terms of, like, the actual, like, time, like, point in history. We don't know what led to this. We don't know the circumstances of
the rules.
Yeah, I mean, we know the rules, I guess, because we're explaining the rules, but we don't know why the rules are set in place. We're thrown into this, and we have to figure it out or not figure it out. And I feel like that's more of an approach of an independent type film as opposed to something that's made for Joe Blow, who's just into
stuff,
fucking slasher shit or just the latest blockbuster box office horror movie.
Well, I think to the point you guys are making, it takes the slasher approach that we're used to, where it's just body count, body count, body count. But it applies those rules to what is classically, like in American cinema, a possession movie, which is very much a personable movie. Like, you want to follow Reagan for 2 hours, so you feel some kind of attachment to Reagan. But here, it's like making The Exorcist into a slasher movie. It doesn't really register the same with American audiences. So
it's
I can see it
almost
both
like
ways.
How it plays out, The Thing, in the way that you don't know who the
is that specific to like certain characters though. We'll get into the plot parts of it later. But yeah, it's definitely a unique way of approaching the movie. So let's get a positive spin here. This is from Lucas Figlum from November 26, 2023, who said this was best horror movie of the year. A horror movie that, despite using Hollywood resources, doesn't forget the roots and the language of Latin American cinema. The dystopian plot is highly intriguing, and as the story develops, we are absolutely shocked by some of the scenes. There is an incredible work in screenplay production and some very impressive acting. When Evil Lurks stands out for avoiding many cliches of the horror genre, establishing its own universal rules, the production offers a fresh perspective on films centered around demonic possessions, breathing new and interesting life into such works. With no commitment to pleasing the North American audience, numbed by their already saturated horror formulas, Cuando Hechicha la Maldad is hair-raisingly thrilling. A great movie. Latino America! Exclamation mark. 9 out of 10 stars for that.
Love it.
I like that little Latino America throw in there at the end.
So the whole crown of best horror movie of 2023.
Crown them.
You had what? Late Night with the Devil is up there. Late Night with the Devil
is it 23 or 24?
It's
Barbarian's
23, I think. Is Barbarian 2023?
Yeah.
You sure?
I remember watching 22 by myself. I remember all the movies I watched by myself.
Pearl was 2023.
Not my jam. Y'all can have that.
Ooh, Pearl was my shit.
Stop Motion 2023.
I need to see a list.
Yeah.
We're in 2025 now. Everything's out of whack. But you think it's a legitimate contender? Is that what you're trying to get at here?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, because you had like Talk to Me. I think that was in there as well. A lot of people were really big on that Skinamarink movie. I never watched it.
Never watched that one.
But I heard like the way it was shot was really appealing. Infinity Pool. We saw that.
Damn, that was a weird ass movie.
Was that a horror movie?
I've still yet to see it.
Terrifying, but I don't know if it's a horror movie.
I kind of say Talk to Me is up there, but after watching this movie, I'm kind of sad I didn't get to see it in a theater.
Talk to Me didn't
apparently it was good for a good reason. Did you guys hear that a lot of the fucking show times for this movie were canceled?
What?
So that theaters can make more room for the Taylor Swift concert?
What? Oh, the Eras Tour movie?
Yeah.
That thing made bank, dude.
Because this movie did terrible in American theaters.
I didn't even know it. I didn't know of its existence until it was on VOD.
its whole thing where it blew up was like Toronto Film Festival or something like that. It was like heralded, but it just happened to come out the same weekend as The Exorcist, Believer, as well as the Taylor Swift concert. And a lot of the showings were just canceled so they can have more room and use the theater, the additional theater space for the Taylor Swift concert.
I mean, it makes sense for the theater. I'm not going to fault the theater.
Yeah, you got
That's
like two people
capitalism
wanting to
at working
see
right there.
this Argentinian horror film versus all this other stuff. But in terms of like mainstream, you know about it, horror stuff. Talk to me, Megan. Was Megan good?
It was
okay. It was okay. I wasn't down for a sequel.
It's coming, buddy.
It is 2.0.
Oh yeah, and Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving came out in 2023 as well.
Did enjoy Thanksgiving.
It was fine.
It was fun. It was really fun.
I want to see a sequel to that before I see a sequel to Megan.
Would you want to see a sequel to it before you would want to see a sequel to When Evil Lurks?
I don't know. Didn't Eli Roth just do Borderlands?
Oh yeah, he did that.
He might have just burned his next blank check there. So
I would love.
May need some more time.
I think it's gonna be more of a stay in your lane with horror, Eli. Like this might be good for Thanksgiving too.
Probably not his fault.
I would love to see a sequel to this film.
It's definitely, like you said, the ambiguity is all over this movie. Is that something you want to tarnish with like a 28 Days Later franchise? Is that what you guys want? You just talking shit about this 20 minutes
28
ago.
weeks later was great.
Well, you two love Terrifier, and you keep sucking that shit in, and that's just the ambiguity to the
Well, that's
fucking
the
max.
thing. Terrifier 1 to Terrifier
darling.
2, that was a huge leap in terms of everything. Storytelling, production, world building, character development. There was actual character development.
That was the indie movie of the year.
We know
Pedro
Pedro is a drunk but good dad. Okay,
Pedro was more than, I think Pedro might have been on some substance. We're going to be talking about that in a little bit.
Okay, cocaine.
All right, let's step into it.
Heroin.
Let's talk about the just throwing out the yayo straight to the point. Let's talk about the crew. Again, this is an independent and a foreign film to us American guys. So not a whole lot behind the camera unless you really went digging, boys.
It's going to be sparse.
Written and directed by Mr. Damien Urugna, who I referenced earlier. Dug around his internet presence, could not find much outside of this here film. You guys got anything about Mr. Urugna?
I found a film I want to watch at some point called, that he directed, and I think he wrote it, called Satanic Hispanics.
Oh, that sounds like a fucking weird porno or a fucking awesome 80s horror parody.
This goes back to me watching a bunch of interviews like with Mr. Urugna. This was like a horror anthology with a bunch of Latino, Hispanic, whatever
Hispanic
directors.
Panic or whatever the hell who did you say?
It's like 5 different
Did I just
directors.
say Hispanic Panic?
It's like an anthology type deal. But yeah, he did have a segment on that. But apparently 2017's Terrified is what really got him to the point where he was able to fund this movie and create this movie with so much creative control from Shudder.
Terrified? Is that like Punked with Ashton Kutcher, but it's scary?
Yeah, but
Terrified.
just everybody's like possessed by ghosts.
You just got
Or
terrified.
possessed by demons. But apparently it's got a lot of his filmmaking style in this is even more so reflected in that as his original, like, this is what's gonna like get me to where I can actually be considered to direct more
big time horror stuff.
Yeah, more adventurous type. Yeah.
As you said, Shudder. This film had multiple people giving it money, right? It was like Shudder doesn't have a lot of money, but obviously they were helping him out.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of these foreign films have like almost like the country itself is financing their films. There are all kinds of grants and stuff like that. You see that a lot in Ireland and places like that as well.
Oh, okay.
And then you get Shudder, you get the American money to come in and distribute and show the world, you know, how America is.
How much
We're all about
money
broadcasting
did Scotland give for Dragonheart?
Dragonheart. Hopefully they gave the King's Crown for that. It's the only reason I want to go to Scotland. It's because Einen. Joy Einen.
The big one you see nowadays is like South Korea.
Oh,
Like,
South Korea is the shit.
Yeah,
dude.
they're
I spend
huge
so
about
much time in South
promoting-
Korea these days, man.
Promoting their
Never been a day in my life, but
promoting their like their arts, you know, like you have their movies, Train to Busan, Parasite, right? Parasite was
Everything Bong Joon-ho has done, you could tell like they love American cinema.
and then
culture.
K-pop, yeah.
And it's so awesome to see them take it and make it different. Anything Bong Joon-ho has ever done, I just finished watching his entire filmography. It's fantastic. Dude is the shit. And you got Squid Game, of course, blowing up now. So many good horror movies out of South Korea in the past 5 years, too.
Squid Game 2, nobody asked for it.
Squid Game 2, have
Yeah.
you watched it yet?
Yeah, it's unnecessary.
I watched a few episodes. You telling me I'm wasting my time?
It's just kind of unnecessary.
Yeah. It's a Joker Foley I do situation.
It's only 6 episodes, and it kind of leaves you like, oh, this was a setup for season 3.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of the impression I'm already getting. Like 2 episodes in. I'm like, okay. Just reheating this in the microwave before we cash it out one more time. So you said you had listened to several interviews the director had done, Joy. Does it seem like he wants to make American, quote-unquote, American movies? Is that what he's after?
I think a big part of what he is trying to accomplish is really helping to put Argentina on the map as like a movie making powerhouse. Like
So
he
he's
is
a local
very
boy.
he is very much for trying to take Argentinian culture and preserve it through cinema.
So we don't have like a Fede Alvarez situation where he's just trying to get to America to
I think he's
get a big old
really-
Hollywood budget.
I think he's actually supposed to be working with Guillermo del Toro here pretty soon. On some
Guillermo spreading that love.
The granddaddy himself.
something to introduce it
Papi.
more so to American audiences and have more major releases. But I think at its core, like he's definitely wanting to preserve the Argentinian culture and stuff. But to hear the guy talk, man, like his style, like he's all about making a movie the way he wants to make it. Like the way he talks, I can't see him ever directing something that he didn't write.
So is he giving interviews in English, or are they all?
Although I've seen several like interviews in English. He's pretty well spoken. Like I'm sure some of the questions these people ask him, it's probably hard for him to formulate exactly how he wants to express himself. But at the same time, it's like the dude is very much about making movies the way he wants to make them and not compromising his vision for a paycheck or for more notoriety.
Independent artist, classic.
Yeah, I feel like given the chance, he's going to murder kids in any movie he can.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sure that an American studio would be like, it's just a little too much child violence. No.
Yeah, you see the part where the kid was nearly devoured, and you showed us like 8 different shots of that. We got notes. Damien. Who do we think his favorite soccer player is?
Mbappe.
Mbappe. The greatest soccer player of all time is from Argentina. Hootie.
Well, he could be an Mbappe fan, okay?
Our
Messi.
good friend.
That's
our good
profiling,
friend,
Chris.
hates to admit it, but we all know Lionel Messi is the GOAT.
Well, Messi's old.
You guys gotten? He's a little old, but I think we're the same age, actually. Anywho, moving on. You guys got
We're
any
old.
other notes for the crew? Anyone behind the camera? Of
Marcos
notes?
Berta and his
What did
team
Marcos
as
do?
the special effects and makeup artists. I know we always like throw these out there talking about how good of a job they did. This movie's practical effects are fucking phenomenal. They're really, really good. Like
They
the
blend
use
very
of
well.
like VFX in this movie are very, very few and far between. Like there are some noticeable instances where it has to be used, but the segments where we see the practical effects and the makeup, it's really very, very, very well done.
Some
Squishy.
incredible shots.
Some squishy stuff in here. Did you, speaking of VFX, did you catch that the Unreal Engine is in use here?
What?
Like you
Like
talking
the actual-
about?
The video game
I
engine,
know.
the Unreal?
I know. There's this like when they're in the truck.
There's certain shots I was like,
In the truck,
this
like
looks
the
like some
background
games
behind,
I've
like in the back
seen,
window,
you know?
looks just like a fucking video game.
I thought the same thing, and then as I'm finishing the movie and the credits are rolling, I was like, holy shit, they used the Unreal Engine for the VFX. That's fucking crazy. Like all these shooter games you use are using the same technology, and you can see just the way some of the faces are blended. I could tell they use that same engine. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Whoa, that is cool.
Video games affecting the real world, man. AI is coming for us. All right, moving on for some production notes here. I only really have 2, so I'll keep it simple on my end. 2021, the screenplay for When Evil Lurks won the runner-up prize at the Sitges Pitch Box, an international pitch event hosted by Film Market Hub and the 56th Sitges Film Festival. So that's how the movie got made. It won a screenwriting contest. Thought that was pretty interesting. And it was a runner-up at that.
What took the grand prize?
I don't know. I didn't look it up. Damn it. The fact that it didn't reference it, I'm sure it was not as big of a deal as this movie.
It was probably Oppenheimer.
It was probably Oppenheimer. Why the hell is Christopher Nolan submitting screenplays in international
That's like
pitch
a fucking.
events?
That's like Shaq going to a goddamn rec league game and fucking.
Oh yeah, Shaq's in my 6-year-old son's rec league. He's
Sometimes you
averaging
just
200 points a game.
Sometimes it just makes you feel good.
Just tearing down the backboard every fucking play.
These kids ain't got nothing on me.
All right, stop the fucking clock. We got to reset the backboard.
What do you always say, Chris? He got to learn.
He got to fucking learn. There's only one way he gonna learn. Son, get in there and post up fucking Shaquille O'Neal. Dad, I weigh 50 pounds. Did I fucking ask you how much you weighed? The only thing I got here is this is Shudder's first Spanish language production. It's a big deal. Shudder's doing a lot of good work in the
I don't know why I don't have Shudder.
It's like the one you should feel obligated to pay for.
It's like the only one
right?
I should feel fucking obligated to get.
I think
like
you can
$10 a
package it
month?
with something else too, like pretty cheap.
Probably ESPN Plus.
Yeah, it's part of like one of those.
God, I have so many of these things I don't fucking use, dude.
Just do the one that Shudder is under the umbrella of, and then you're good. I forget who owns it. The parent company, whoever they are. Paramount Plus or somebody.
So I had a note here that it received a theatrical release from IFC, and then it got a debut on streaming with Shudder. So does IFC own Shudder?
Oh, apparently AMC owns Shudder.
AMC, yeah, that sounds correct.
So does IFC own AMC, which owns Shudder?
Or does AMC own IFC, who is cousins with Shudder?
Oh God,
Are these cousins in bed together?
this is a thick tree.
And
AMC Plus. What the fuck would I want that for?
She
you
can
get
watch
the
Hell on
Walking
Wheels
Dead.
over
Hell
and
on
over
Wheels.
and over.
Is that still going?
I don't think so.
Damn, that was a deep pull.
No, they have
You
like
watch
a
Common
third
on Hell on
spinoff
Wheels.
now where they follow Daryl as he like is in British
He's on
Columbia
Hell on
or
Wheels
some
too?
shit.
No, Carol and Daryl are fucking.
Don't say their fucking names like that. Don't make their
Holy
names rhyme.
shit. Carol and Daryl.
That's the show. It's about Carol and Daryl. What do I
Don't
can't?
stop
Sounds like a
help
painting.
it. It's
Stop
the
saying
show.
Carol.
Carol and Daryl are fucking. Sounds like an episode of The Walking
Carol and Daryl versus the zombies. Come on, get on the motorcycle.
And then there's a whole other show about
crossbow.
Dead. Why'd everybody split up? I
Jeffrey
don't
D.
wanna
Morgan.
know. I'm not gonna
and
get
the
into it.
Other lady.
Oh god, yeah, Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Lauren Cohen
There you
are like fucking.
What?
Like
Everybody.
I only know her name because she did voice work for Destiny, like Destiny 1.
Everybody.
The reason I know her
Whacked
name.
Glenn's head open?
Oh yeah, he watched the boy that made her moist. She was
They took-
sopping wet after that
my
one.
Goodness.
then-
Jesus.
Rick and Michonne have their own show where they're also banging. So
Why'd everybody split up? What happened?
to bang.
It don't sound like they fucking split up. It sounds like they're all fucking.
Was there like a damn meteor that came in or some shit and there's just water everywhere and everyone had to go in different directions? I don't even want to know. I'm moving on. You boys got any production notes about When Evil Lurks?
I got one that's kind of neat, I thought, but it might work better if I just use it later on. You know what? I'm going to use it now. Just to kind of like spice this section up. To navigate the strict bureaucratic process involving the use of blood in children. In particular, the final scene involving some youngins and quite a bit of gore. It required the use of blue paint that was made red in post-production to look like blood.
Damn, it looked good.
So we'll talk about it at the end of the movie, like the last scene. So
you said bureaucratic. There's some legal ramifications for using fake blood around
when it
kids?
comes to like children and movies, you only get like a certain amount of time you can have them out there working.
Child labor. Who's rolling his damn eyes? Child labor laws, son.
Are
Who's
these
ready for
people
chimney sweeps and shit?
Are these people actors? Or are they fucking
Are
little
these paid
bitty
professionals?
Yeah, are you professional or are you not? Do your job.
But yeah,
Really,
they use a
Puff
lot of
Daddy
like
response,
body
to be honest with
doubles
you.
and a lot of like camera work and little tricks here and there to help with these scenes. But yeah, you can't really
He
have
said, "Fuck them hobbits."
violence
They
and
make you a
children
paycheck.
in the same scene, unless it's like, I guess, VFX, or we'll talk about it here in a little bit too.
Augmented realities.
Yeah.
Give them all Nintendo Switches. They'll do whatever you say for 8 hours.
There you go. Zelda all day.
Oh fuck yes! I'm sitting down with that.
I had a tidbit about the goat scene, but I don't know if we want to table that until we actually get there.
Yeah, we could do that. I don't have any specifics there, so surprise me in the moment.
Okay.
Last thing I got, of course, the box office. This, I dug around for about 10 minutes. It was a $2.1 million box office. Budget, I could not find written down anywhere. Google AI response, I don't know if you guys have seen that now. Google gives you like the... Google said under 3.1 million. So I don't know what that means.
That's very specific to be under us.
That's all I could find.
Okay.
I dug around like 10 different websites, and I was like, clearly this is just not readily available.
So it was not, you would not say it was a successful film.
I don't know how, I mean, again, this goes back to the whole streaming argument. How do we know what's successful in streaming?
Oh, that's also true.
Like, is Stranger Things successful? Of course it is. But it has a $0 box office.
That's
So how do we
such
know?
a good point, because like Jamie Foxx has clearly signed some contract with Netflix because he's pumping out some garbage.
Yeah, Will Smith had the same deal, right? And
Yeah,
Adam
the Will
Sandler.
Smith. How did they justify the money that they're getting from Netflix?
I don't know. How many streams they get? How many new subscribers it brings in? Who signs? Oh, the new Jamie Foxx shit's joining? All right, re-sign us up for Netflix. I don't
That's
know.
interesting.
But yeah, I mean, clearly Stranger Things is a big deal. But I don't know how you quantify that anymore. I don't know. All right, moving on, boys. We got nothing else here. It's time to find out. What do we do? Where do we go? How does it feel when evil lurks? One morning, brothers Pedro and Jaime for some, investigate gunshots heard in the nearby woods, where they discover a man, half missing, if you will, that leads them to a remote shack. Inside, they find a woman hiding with her two sons. The older son, Uriel, has become a quote-unquote rotten, a person possessed by an unborn demon awaiting physical birth. They learned the dismembered man was a cleaner, someone the mother called a year ago, to safely kill Uriel and prevent the demon from spreading its possession. Half man, half missing. That looked pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Right
I like
off.
that.
Right off Jump Street, we got
Yeah,
mutilation.
I wanted to see the other half. That's how interested I was in like the makeup. I'm like, damn, this bottom half looks great. Where's the top half?
So these two actors, you said his name is Yame?
It's Jamie, but
it's
Jaime.
It's
is
Jimmy.
often referred
It's
to.
Hemi.
I thought it was Jimmy.
Yeah, I think it's like Jimmy.
I got it. Well, it's
Jaime.
the way it's
Jaime
listed.
is
Hold on,
Jamie.
Hold on. Let me defend myself here. In the credits,
Y'all make fun of me for
as,
this shit.
it's listed as Jamie, quote unquote, Jimmy Yazurlo. So Jimmy's a nickname, but the first name, according to the credits from the movie, is Jaime or Jamie.
Yeah, I remember there's a scene where Murta calls him Jaime.
Yeah, that's his. That's his.
But I
name.
hear him called Hemi or Jimmy, like
Wait,
in
Hemi?
certain points.
Yeah, you get the H sound in Spanish. What's
yeah,
Jimmy?
J is H. in
It's like
Spanish.
saying Hoey instead of Joey.
It's like
Hoey.
no. Apparently my
Hoey.
name in Spanish, and I've learned this here recently.
Joseph.
Is fucking Jose.
It's Jose. Yeah, you didn't know that?
Jose!
It's Jose. I've been
Yeah.
getting called Jose here for a little while now.
Jose. You gotta say it with the
Second
accent,
nature.
There was a bar
that.
close to y'all back in the day called Jose's.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that one. That
I
was a
worked
good
there
one.
for a
Mexican
hot
joint.
second. It was some kind of joint.
Kind
yeah.
of.
Kind
It was
of.
in the middle of nowhere, wasn't it?
Owned by an old white lady. So I'm not sure if it was considered a Mexican joint or not.
I used to fuck her, but moving on. But yeah, so we get the body in the woods, and it kind of sets the tone. It's weird to see it in broad daylight like this too.
Yeah,
because we're chilling in the wood in the dark for a while in like this remote cabin before we kind of get the reveal there.
like all right. At this point, we've discovered Uriel, however you pronounce his name. First of all, looking like Pearl from Blade.
I said, motherfucker looks like Baron Harkonnen from 1985's
That's pretty
Dune.
good too. Yeah,
Nasty looking motherfucker.
that's pretty good too. So at this point, it's been established as kind of like a possession movie, and it's kind of cool seeing it turned on its head in the sense that the priest, or in this case, the cleaner, who is responsible for taking care of this situation, is literally killed off 5 minutes into the movie.
Yeah, we
So
never.
it's
even
like, what
see the top half of
happens?
this
What
guy.
happens when an exorcism doesn't involve an actual person that's capable of performing an exorcist? This is like the rest of the movie is just a fallout from people not knowing, or people knowing the protocols but not fucking following them at all.
Well, I mean, they're in the middle of nowhere. They're in like this farming country, so they just don't have the resources to be able to pull off this with a nasty rotten.
Well, that's the thing. Everybody know. We're gonna soon discover. Everybody knows the rules behind like not getting possessed. But
Grandma knows them rules for
no
damn
one.
sure.
She knows that. She knows a damn rap song too.
Granny will write you a
Go
damn track.
along with it. She writes you a damn diss track when it comes to the fucking demon.
Granny's top 10 fucking Spotify.
She's got her own SoundCloud.
Yeah. My first note here, which is watching the movie, not having any knowledge of this, is the rotten normal? Because immediately it's like, this is just, like you guys are saying, this is just fucking par for the course for these people.
Oh yeah, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, and like the
Is this
rules
normal in fucking
and
South America? What is going on here?
The circumstances of how they currently are established really early in the movie. Like this isn't it's uncommon for it to happen in such an isolated area, but it's not uncommon for it to happen.
Yeah, I think they even refer to like the cities are just full of this nasty shit.
It's almost like a zombie
guess good
virus,
country
I guess,
folks.
or like some sort of viral infection.
I thought it was a viral infection because the way they spoke about it, with it being, how did it get to our little town?
Yeah. And again, this is, like we were saying, it's cool to see another cultural perspective because the way it's presented from these characters, like they're not even like offended or weird or grossed out by the half torso man or the fact that this guy's fucking possessed by a demon. The only thing that grosses him out is how he looks. How fat and gross this guy is, which made me feel terrible eating Christmas tree cakes as I'm watching this.
Ooh, Christmas trees. Oh,
I felt like I was Uriel laying down watching this.
Dude, I had to get me some of
With
those the
crumbs on
other
my
day,
face.
man. I hadn't had any the entire holiday season, and right before
I didn't know there's only 5 in a box.
dude, trust me, I found out.
I
real
ate 2
quick.
of them. I was
Five
like,
in a
shit.
box.
There's only 5 in a box. I already ate 2. I was like, fuck, they're half gone.
We may upset our audience with this. I do not like Christmas tree cakes.
You're fucking crazy, man.
I'm sorry.
I mean, they're literally like
Something
zebra
about it, man.
cakes, just like
takes
decorated
you
in a
back.
different way, but they're
I don't
still
like
so
zebra
fucking
cakes.
good.
It's the most nostalgic Little Debbie treat. It's like you got to have one in your stocking, man.
I need
even
that.
if you
I
don't
need
like
that
it.
nutty buddy, man. I need
Yeah,
a
but
buddy.
there's no
You can get that
nostalgia
year-round,
behind
man.
that. You can get that at any point in time.
I've eaten one of those since too. I told you, I feel just ever since watching this movie, I
For
felt
me,
more
it's
and more
like-
like Uriel.
That kind of compares to like Cadbury eggs is one, and then I
Those
got
hurt my teeth just
I
thinking
got
about
2
them.
more that are like controversial.
It's so sweet.
2 is like candy corn, or like little pumpkins,
I think we all agreed we
and
like the
then
candy
3
corn.
is fucking Peeps. So
Oh,
many
I
people
just
don't
inhale
like
Peeps.
Peeps, but you only get them
Ah,
around
sugar-
Easter. They shit
Sugar
on Peeps.
marshmallow. Mm.
We had a friend bring us these homemade cream pies for our New
Well.
Year's Eve party.
Mm.
So
And,
to keep this PG, bud.
They
Yeah,
were like the
that
size
cream was
of-
like extra salty.
They're like the size of my head. And they were actually pretty good. I would say that a homemade cream pie is better than the Little Debbie's.
I'm about to censor that editor's note. Every time Hootie says homemade cream pie,
He
Yeah,
gave me a
dude, like a
cream
chicken
pie, and I was
pudding.
like, "Damn, this feels pretty good in my ass."
I do like some cream pies.
Did we talk about the actors Pedro and Jimmy?
Yeah, I got them listed here. I'm assuming you want me to say their names, Hootie.
I'll
With
say
your-
them if you want.
with your history here.
Ezekiel Rodriguez
That's Pedro,
and Demian Salaman.
which would be Jimmy or Jaime.
Yeah, thank God I would have never got those right.
And then we haven't met Mirta yet. Is Mirta the neighbor lady? Some of these names kind of.
No, Mirta is going to be the lady who knows
Down the
all
road.
about
I
the
gotcha,
actual possession stuff.
She's third
Jimmy's-
build. That's why she was up on my list.
Jimmy's love affair.
The actors on this, it's a fucking mess because no one has a goddamn picture on their IMDb. They just pluck
Yeah.
these people off the streets of
Pedro
Nicaragua
does.
or wherever it is.
Let
Yeah,
me
like
talk about
Pedro and like 2 other people, all right?
Me talk about he's Mr.
Ezekiel
Rodriguez. He was in a show called Violetta for 240 episodes.
There's got to be a fucking rule. If your ass can't
Jesus.
pronounce what the thing is, you just don't need to say it.
Is that a soap opera or something? Damn.
That's got to be a soap opera.
I looked it up. It gave me like One Tree Hill, Dawson Creek vibes.
Okay.
And I think he was like the dad on the show. So imagine like the dad from Dawson's Creek being in this film.
So this
Nuts.
is like Breaking Bad for him. This is the dad from Malcolm in the Middle, just
Great.
fucking going gangsta.
It's a great connection. The synopsis or tagline of the show is: a musically talented teenager returns to her native Buenos Aires after living in Europe.
Buenos Aires. I like
That's
that.
it. And Mr. Salam was in
Salomon. Okay.
I Am Toxic is about all I had.
Yeah, I love that one.
I know it's a great
That's
classic.
a great one, dude.
Thank you for your contribution.
That was such a good fucking skit. What was it? What was that? A short film? Is that on Broadway? Is that on like Argentinian Broadway?
This
Jimmy
definitely
did
comes
his
across
best.
as 3 stupid Americans, but these people generally do not have
Come on, cut us some slack.
these stuff listed.
We're
man.
literally
Yeah.
covering a movie where
I mean,
we don't
we didn't-
understand the fucking language.
I know, but it's not like we glossed over the research. There's literally like there's no information about a lot of this stuff, so forgive us.
I have
Thanks
like
for
the
the pick,
attention
Chris.
span of a cockroach. Like, there's no way I could have researched this movie any better.
Yeah, I knew when I was coming up sparse, I was like, Joey's gonna be shitting the
I
bed.
have
but,
undiagnosed like adult ADHD. I can't help myself.
but because of you, I'm gonna be eating a pecan pie at midnight tonight because you told me to save it for you and you
I
didn't.
forgot
come
all
and get
about
it.
that fucking pie.
So I'm cramming it because I can't have it here when I get back over after this weekend. It needs to be consumed, and I cannot throw it away. I'm gonna feel more like this fucking.
Wait, why can't you
Uriel
throw it
fucker.
away?
it's a psychological thing, man. If somebody
gotta eat
makes
it.
me something,
He's got a house.
I
I
cannot
made it
throw
for
it
all
away.
of us. It ain't just for you.
But if someone puts like attention into something for me, I cannot dismiss it.
Wait a
It's
minute. Wait,
it's a
whoa,
psychological
whoa.
thing.
You're telling me that Joy baked a fucking pecan pie
From
for us to eat this
scratch.
weekend,
From scratch. No,
and
no,
you're
no.
gonna just take the
This
face?
was for Christmas, dog.
Oh, okay.
He
I
told me
don't
to save him
feel
half
safe
of it,
now.
which I did.
Wait, an entire half? You gonna eat half?
There's
of this
half of
fucking
it in there.
pie? Damn.
I got a whole thing of Cool Whip sitting on top of it, just waiting to go. Anyway, back to the rails here. When local authorities refused to handle the rotten situation, the brothers turned to landowner Ruiz. He takes aggressive action, attempting to dispose of the blighted Uriel by driving him hours away. During the drive, they nearly hit a young boy on the road, only to discover Uriel has somehow escaped the truck. Dismissing the incident, Ruiz returns home unconcerned. Armando Ruiz is played by Luis Zembrowski.
I got something
No
about
Polish
this guy.
descent?
I thought
It's Zembrowski. There's an IEM in there, so
No.
not quite Zebrowski.
So how did this
Mr.
big
Zim-
motherfucker get out of the truck?
Magic. Hoody's got something about the actor. You got something about this actor?
Oh, you got something about
I
the
do.
actor? Hey,
I
go
do.
for it.
He was also in a show called Lelola for 76 episodes. And listen to this synopsis because I kind of want to see the show now.
Oh, is this another Argentinian TV show?
Yes, 76 episodes. It's a pretty good run. A man transforms to a very beautiful woman on the night of an eclipse, falls in love for the first time with another man who doesn't know who she was before the eclipse.
How does it
That's the
end?
show.
I gotta fucking know.
I don't
The
know.
Next
See,
eclipse
you're
turns back
intrigued.
to a fucking man.
Damn it.
You're intrigued.
I got 76 episodes I gotta burn through tonight while I cram this pecan pie.
Apparently, Ruiz made one a hell of a woman.
So was Ruiz the lady?
I don't think so.
There's no way
Hopefully he's the man that was seduced.
this motherfucker turns to a beautiful woman.
This dude is a fucking asshole, man.
He's not. He's a landowner. It's called.
Kind of
He's
see
typical
his points.
fucking landlord guy. Not on my fucking land type guy.
So when the brothers go to meet Ruiz for the first time at his what looks like a cow pasture, he's got cows behind
His
him.
farm, yeah. Something going on.
Well, this guy's well off, man. Like the interior shots of his house, you can tell he's like well off.
He eats well too.
In the scene where they're talking to Ruiz for the first time with the cows, every single frame has a fly buzzing around their head.
I wonder how they get
Every
that.
single cut.
I always wonder how those kind of effects, like if they're intentional, how you set them up. You put like
Dude,
a drip of honey or some dog shit behind their ear.
Aren't bot flies
Just
really
to get a little
big?
dog shit on their neck.
You guys heard about bot flies?
Yeah, those freak me out.
Bot
Flies freak me out.
I think flies in other countries are more terrifying than
it's
American
like
flies.
the most common.
I don't want to see it.
Dude, they're really common in Argentina. Holy
It's
shit!
like a cockroach size fly or something.
Never.
Dude, I thought I had a bot fly thing on my
I would
arm
love
the
to go
other
to
day.
Argentina,
I was sitting
man.
there trying to suck it out.
Get to see the World Cup.
What were we
But
talking
yeah,
about?
you're saying Uriel falling off the back of this truck with the tailgate closed.
Yeah,
and
the
with
tailgate
had a shade
closed.
over top of the tailgate.
Well, I think it kind of shows that
better
the
truck.
shade is thrown to the side a little bit. Like when they did that, it kind of like threw.
I didn't think so.
Had so much fucking whip momentum that the fucking body went flying 20 feet in the air.
Well, the dude
Obviously,
weighs
this
400
is
pounds.
a
Let's
plot.
do physics.
This is
How much did this man weigh?
Oh yeah, that dude is massive. He's at least 350.
You would have
a
felt a
big
shift in
boy.
traction if he fell off of that truck.
Yeah.
It would be a bit of a weight lifted off of the truck.
Exactly. Oh, damn. The springs would have even made
Yeah,
me
he was at least 350. But imagine that big motherfucker going 20 feet in the air and hitting the ground.
You would hear just a slosh.
Well, you would just fucking. It would be like the most satisfying like explosion sound, but it'd be so gross.
Like a video.
This is definitely like a
the
plot
Unreal Engine.
hole. Like it's just. I think it's one of those things of we're already in a. We've already discovered we're in a place where.
Science fiction type
Yeah,
deal.
there's a little bit going on here that isn't really in the realm of the realm of
Our world.
our world. It's like there's gonna be stuff happening in this movie that we really can't explain because we're not accustomed to the things that happen.
It makes you feel
So
like
do
a
you-
tourist.
Do you feel like there's some kind of magical component to this then?
Magical.
I think it's supernatural,
Like he
not really
disappeared?
magical.
Like Mickey Mouse?
Or he melted through the cracks or some shit like that? No?
I don't think so. I didn't pick
Okay.
up on it, at least. I trust
'Cause
that
there's
he
like some
flew off of
sludge.
that damn Dodge Ram pickup truck.
That was a nice ass truck. I was
was
like, that's
a
an
very nice
American
truck.
fucking truck, bro. I
Nice
was like, they definitely
American-
said, that's an American fucking truck right there. Let's use that. That's big nuts right there. But we had like the sludge going down the side of the tailgate. So I was like, maybe he like liquefied or putrefied because he was like a jelly person anyway.
A jelly person. A big ass jelly bean.
He was made out of like bubbles and
That
flesh.
was pus. That was fucking. That was infected flesh juice. Oh, so gross.
I loved when Jimmy got a good look at him. He had the best reaction to him. Like, look at this disgusting fat fucker. And again, we saw like 3 people getting ready to execute this guy, but couldn't do it in their house because again, we get kind of like the rules of you can't kill these things with guns. You don't want to do it on your own property. Blood on your hands. There's probably a lot of metaphors that tie back into some kind of Argentinian
Well,
culture.
one of
that
the
we're
most
not
cold-blooded
grasping.
deliveries of a line happened a little bit earlier when they're inside the house of Uriel's family, and the mother's talking about how like she was trying to pray for him, like for her son to like
Just
get
die.
better, and then Pedro just interrupts her and talks about how the churches are dead.
Yeah,
and, like,
it was
everything's
pretty
gone.
fucking
That was just
cold.
like so fucking cold.
Yeah, that's definitely the most interesting part of the mythology for me. They're like, because it gets repeated later on, like churches don't exist anymore in this world. Like that's a weird fucking concept.
Yeah, so organized religion has collapsed.
Well,
Like it's been proven wrong or
yeah,
something.
there's
That's
talked about it a little bit
nuts.
later by Murtha about how
That's a crazy concept.
about how religion is now it's been debunked for
Yeah, it's been.
for
2 weeks since you looked at me.
yeah, it's there's an interesting like world building going on here, and I don't know if they did a sequel, if they did a prequel, it might undo some of the magic this movie actually has, in my opinion.
Well, to counter that point, going back to our When Boredom Lurks reviewer there, is it too expository for as cool as this world building is? Because like you said, you literally just had to say, this person said things are this way. We weren't shown that. Would it have been cooler to like stumble upon a church and we get the impression that these are just useless shacks now where we store shit?
I kind of like that it's more about the storytelling than it is the actual, like, going through the process of filming something that might take away from the pace of the movie or how the movie develops. I think that would be out of place if it just, like, we see a flashback or we see some incidental run-in with, like, a fucking mural or something showing what happened before to get us to where we are. I like that a character is the one that has to give their perspective about what happens and what leads to these to this point in time.
But this did win a screenwriting contest, and if anyone ever reads a script, first note they always give you is show, don't tell. I'm just saying. It's the first thing people always say. Really? Show me, don't tell me. Yep.
Huh. I enjoy the tell me, don't show aspect sometimes.
Depends on the producers, I reckon. All right, back to it. The next morning brings grave consequences when Ruiz's wife finds one of their goats possessed. Despite her warning about guns spreading the Rotten's possession, Ruiz shoots the animal. His wife responds with a brutal murder-suicide using an axe. That goat was gangster as fuck.
That's how you get an axe to the forehead.
That had that exact fucking note. The axe work was bonkers, dude. This is the poster of the movie.
This is the best scene of the entire film, in my opinion. This sequence.
It blew my mind. I was like, because I saw that poster forever, and I'm like, okay, this person is like getting ready to lick an axe or whatever, you know, because all gets the silhouette of the. I didn't even notice in the poster it's a pregnant woman, but clearly it's a pregnant woman. Learned that during the movie, with the axe like right near her face. Jesus, I was not expecting that.
It looked so good.
How cold was that fucking goat, bro?
Goat was fucking gangster. I love the shot of
dude, that slow
the horns
walk
poking
up.
out.
He's like looking. The goat's looking down the fucking double barrel, like looking into the barrels of a double barrel
What's
shotgun.
up, dude?
Literally just fucking slow walks and it puts his head
He
against
said,
it.
Pull it.
What is there a consensus as to why this goat was pointed out as being a demon goat or demonic goat to you guys?
So I didn't catch it.
I think it's because they touched. I guess it kind of falls apart later on, but I will still go with it. They touched the body of Uriel, which means they got some of the possession on them,
like on their
like
clothes.
Clothes or something.
Pedro later, and maybe Uriel, not Uriel. Fucking these names are mixing up. Ruiz went out to like feed the goats or something when he got back, and that's how the goat became possessed. Like
the goat licked his hand.
Yeah.
But she saw it. What did she see in the goat?
I think she saw the goats were acting funny.
Was it the eyes?
And he was trying to figure out.
Was he staring her down?
What if fucking goat just stared at
What do you say? He sits there and he pulls the fucking
bitch?
trigger on his shotgun to scare him away, and one goat is left behind.
Ain't
So I guess that confirms
love that.
which
That
goat
was
it
great.
is. But like she's alerted by something that she sees in this goat.
It's that motherly instinct.
Fucking gangsta. Isn't Ruiz a little old to be a dad?
Oh man, you can be putting damn nuts in all of them.
That's my only
Al
note on the
Pacino just
pregnancy
had a
there.
kid.
Yeah, you can.
Nah,
your
that's Al
damn dick
Pacino,
be
though.
working for a long
This dude-
time. My
This
dick
is an
still
old
works.
farmer at the end of the world, Hootie.
Well,
That's
this
all they-
is Al
that's all they-
Pacino of the
Motherfucker, that's all they. He's trying to have
Al
hands on the
Pacino is
phone.
not at the end of the world. This lady, they should probably use a contraceptive, I guess is all I'm saying. Here.
Knowing he
This dude's
paid
clearly
he
like
paid
70
3
years
goats
old.
for this woman, and he's gonna take full advantage of it.
Oh, you think this was a dowry situation?
Oh, this is a dowry situation.
Like Fiddler on the Roof. Okay.
Maybe she just wanted out. She's like, I ain't having this motherfucker's baby.
So apparently the director loved how this scene turned out, hated shooting this scene because they only had 10 hours to make this entire scene work. From the time that she calls out the goat to the time that they kill themselves.
So
10
she's
hours.
laying on the ground.
All the effects, all the animals.
It's all shot in the daytime too, isn't it?
all shot in the daytime.
And it's outdoors.
And apparently they had leased this guy's farm out to use as goats. And he said that that working with goats he will never do again because apparently you cannot train a goat to do shit.
Oh yeah, they're stubborn ass animals.
They just don't follow directions. He said it was a pain in the ass.
It wasn't stubborn as a goat, like a common saying.
And they were
They eat
going
fucking
to
cans.
They were going to slaughter that goat that you see walk up to the shotgun. But because that goat was like such a memorable character of the film, that goat is still alive today.
Oh shit, somebody owns him.
It's like a special
Uriel
goat.
bought his ass.
So
Hell yeah. But yeah, I mean, we're talking about like cruelty to animals and children, which is not something this movie shies away from. Gotta take note, this is a fucking pregnant woman smashing her face in with an axe. And she's not possessed or anything at this point, right?
Oh, no, at this point,
this is her own volition.
Nah, at this point, she's sitting there trying to save her unborn child from being possessed.
Yeah, she's just done. She's like, all right, you fucking cursed everybody.
Murder-suicide is what this was.
wait a minute. I thought the
she's not
possession
possessed.
transferred to him and then transferred to her.
No, the goat's still alive at this point. The goat's not dead. Like he shoots the goat in the face, but it's like it's in its death throes. And before the goat can die and transfer any sort of his possession, she hits him immediately with a fucking axe and then turns it on herself.
I did not see it coming. I did not see the fucking
I
first
love
hit coming.
how she hit herself with it too. Because it's like she
like
did
3
it.
shots.
She did it in a way to where it seems realistic to how a pregnant woman, not saying pregnant women are weak or anything like that, how she's not able to smash her face super hard with it. You know,
It's like hesitancy.
yeah.
Well, at first, it's just like an indentation, and then it's like a little scar, and then it's just, it was fucking rough.
So
Then half the head's gone.
Yeah, it was brutal. But yeah, I think, like Joy was saying, the idea is that she knows what will become of this. This is not her possessed. This is her just clocking everybody out. Like, all right, we're done. Game over. Just pull the plug on everybody. Whack, whack, whack.
Did you think about
Which makes it even
what a
more
possessed woman would do to their unborn child?
Yeah.
Like what kind of horrors
the
they would
Antichrist
inflict,
or whatever, you know.
yeah.
We've seen that movie a million times. The brothers decide to evacuate their family members to safety. While Jimmy collects their mother, Pedro visits his ex-wife Sabrina to retrieve his 2 children. The situation devolves into an argument between Pedro, Sabrina, and her new husband, Leonardo. During the confrontation, the family dog, which had earlier licked Pedro's demon-contaminated clothes, violently attacks and drags away Sabrina and Leonardo's daughter.
Poor little Vicky.
All right.
Fucking Vicky gets rocked.
This scene right here, it made me regret watching the trailer.
Was this in the trailer?
This was in the trailer. It
Oh,
fucking
I didn't
spoiled
catch
it. It's the one thing in the trailer that really stood out to me. I wish I hadn't watched the trailer.
As I'm watching this movie, first note, love that dog. Second note, fuck that dog.
The dog
That's
was
my
cute.
2 notes.
The
This
dog
was
had a
adorable.
weird shaped head. Did anybody else
I know
recognize that?
It's
He was
that kind of dog.
That
Like a
breed,
cone
yeah, he was
head or
goofy
something.
looking.
It was weird.
He was cute though, and then I was like, okay, fuck this dog.
Yeah, he
But
looked like the
that
dog
came-
from what's that Tom Hanks movie?
Turner and Hooch.
Turner and
Turner and
Hooch.
Hooch.
Yeah, it is.
But that came from the dog sniffing Pedro's clothes.
Yeah, it was like a contamination situation there.
Going back to that Ruiz situation with the goat. I'm gonna bring this up during my synopsis of this film, but I got to bring it up here as well. I first watched this movie, obviously 2023, with the elder Hootie, my brother, knowing nothing about the film other than the fact that it was getting great reviews. And
Did
we
you
always
see the poster at this point?
I'd seen the poster.
That's all I had seen.
That was it. Just the axe, the woman's face. And we sat down on a Sunday morning to watch like a horror movie, not knowing what was about to happen. And like the dog scene was just like, holy shit, what is going on?
It keeps going, man.
It keeps
it's not
going.
It's not like a quick jerk. I'm like, fuck. They
Oh,
keep
the
giving us
camera
camera time.
pans. There's no cuts right here. There might be 1 or 2 cuts. The camera pans up to what's his name, Santino, like the youngest,
The
son
younger brother,
of,
Santino, yeah.
of Pedro. And
Santino played
it sees
by
his
Marcelo
reaction. He's coming down the
Michelis.
steps, and he slowly looks up under the kitchen table. And then the dog, I think the dog's name is Roger, has Vicky by the
sounds
back of her throat and is literally shaking her, and there's like blood splatter on the floor.
Like a
It's
dog
fucking
toy.
wild.
Yeah, it was fucking wild.
Did we talk about how Pedro's like holding his dick in this scene?
Oh yes, yeah. Well, he's
I had a fucking note about Pedro here because he gets naked or whatever. I don't know if you've seen 21 Jump Street, right? The movie. with Channing Tatum, and you know this scene where fucking Jonah Hill's pretending to be like a Hispanic gangster. He talks about this one guy. He said he looked like the Mexican Wolverine and shit. That's exactly this dude. I was like, this motherfucker looks like Hispanic Wolverine.
That's pretty good.
Especially as he's getting naked. He's got that same fucking Hugh Jackman face from Logan, and haircut and everything.
He does have the same. Yeah, he does.
Dude, Damien
naked.
Rugna has a penchant for like dark comedy. Like he's really big about like black comedy, black humor. You can see it a lot throughout this movie too. Like it wants to take itself seriously, but there's also moments where there is a genuine like you got to stop and laugh. Like even with something so serious going on like this
in front of the ex-wife, and the fucking husband walks in like, what's going on? He's holding his dick. Fucking Leonardo.
And then the family dog just runs out of the house with the little girl.
Yeah, and then it's like a whole chase. And again, there's like more rules going on here. Like, I think Pedro tells him, you can't go after the dog, but I can.
Yes, yeah.
Like Leonardo, the dad, because that's his daughter. It would be Pedro's son's half-sister. So it's not his daughter, but he could go save her, but I don't know. Again, this is more of that. These ambiguous rules, we really don't know how they work or why. And we also meet Yair. That's his other son, he's autistic to a point of, I don't know if he's got some form of paralysis or what his physical situation is like.
I thought he looked like he has paralysis,
but he can move a little bit, like he walked at some points too. So
yeah,
dude, this movie doesn't pull any punches, but like it literally puts all these people in this situation, like elderly people, children, people with disabilities, animals. Puts everybody in his crosshairs. I love it.
Fucking nasty. And also Yair, just shout him out, is played by Emilio Vandonovich.
And
I think he did a pretty good job.
Emilio! Remember that? Night of the Roxbury?
Emilio Estevez, yeah, I remember that. After Leonardo shoots the dog, Pedro returns to find the daughter unharmed, but threatening Sabrina. He flees with his sons in their stolen car, witnessing Leonardo deliberately crash his car into Sabrina while their daughter dances.
He hits that bitch going about 75 miles an hour, turns her into fucking
mush.
Fucking mush.
So he's not possessed.
Oh, no, he's possessed.
He is possessed.
Yeah, because he goes and he shoots the dog with a firearm, which we learned is a no-no.
Part of the curse process.
But Rui shot the goat. That's why they were fucking possessed.
Yeah, but the goat hadn't died yet. Like, the goat was in its death throes.
So it's not the act of shooting, it's the act of killing, you're saying?
Yeah. Like, because the thing is, the goat, like, does its thing. What do they call it? Like, when a goat makes that noise?
You talking about like the yakking, the screaming, whatever
called
it is?
The screaming? Whatever the goat noise is, it like startles Ruiz. So he doesn't like put the fucking gun right in his fucking forehead. He's kind of shoots off at an angle a little bit. So the goat goes down, is like twitching on its way out, and then she sees her opportunity to take advantage of it.
Kill her husband. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, let's say follow that logic. Ruiz shoots the goat. You're saying Ruiz is possessed instantly?
Yes.
Then why does the wife whack him in the head? She's not possessed in that point, right?
Well, you know what? Them Hootie might have a point.
I think
earlier in the movie,
I think she's just taking everybody off the board.
Earlier in the movie, when Ruiz is talking to Uriel, because Uriel has like dialogue with him, and it's talking about as soon as I get out, like the first thing I'm gonna do is like possess your wife. He either says I'm gonna possess your wife or I'm gonna possess your child. He might have said child.
I think it's a child.
Yeah, he may have told his wife that, and his wife was like, all right, it's the first opportunity I'm getting. I'm going to fucking make sure that doesn't happen.
Wait a fucking second. So what if he went straight from the goat to the fetus, and the fetus is controlling the wife? So the fetus whacks the dad, and then the fetus whacks the mom.
What is this, a fucking Ninja Turtles brain guy in that big guy's stomach situation? I don't even know his fucking name. Krang?
Yeah, fucking Krang doing it.
We're talking about a Krang situation going on?
So you're telling me there's a possessed baby out there inside of a dead woman?
Just waiting until it's time to come out. Yes.
Now we have a sequel.
Now we got like this. We should be in Hollywood. Let's do this. Turn off the mics. We're making movies, boys.
It just feels so good.
Reunited, and it feels so good. The assembled family.
Here's our pitch: Baby Geniuses meets When Evil Lurks.
I mean, you take two very profitable films, put them both on Shudder. The assembled family seeks refuge with Myrta, a former cleaner and Jimmy's quote-unquote friend. She warns Jimmy about possession signs in Pedro's autistic son, but Jimmy dismisses her concerns. The situation worsens when Sabrina's possessed corpse kidnaps her youngest son. Myrta sends Jimmy to pursue Sabrina while she and Pedro search for Uriel to end the demonic plague.
Dude, how badass does Zombrina look in this?
Pretty fucking gross. This was the
Looks
trailer.
awesome.
Yeah, this was the trailer shot that got me.
And we have, in fact, fellas, skipped the scene where Grandma tells us the 7 rules.
Well,
I got it right
that
here, baby.
scene right there is like super powerful anyway.
Granny is the Randy from Scream of this universe. There are certain rules.
She is the Randy.
She's fucking singing songs about it and
Dude,
shit.
fuck it, I got the song right here. You want me to sing it?
I don't remember the
Yeah.
song.
Hit me with them
This
lyrics.
is
Spotify number
the
1.
fucking nursery rhyme she's telling her grandson to like get him to relax. She's like, "Oh, they have a song about being possessed. You want to hear it?" He's like, "Hell yeah, I
No
wanna hear
big deal.
But yeah, they get into your body, they infect your mind, they take the most valuable possession, the valuable thing in your life. Your body is no longer your body." It's such
Go
a
to
good
sleep
song.
now.
Yeah, take a
I'm going to
nap.
hum that to my 2-month-old right after we get off this podcast. They'll take your body and you'll never have a life.
You'll do things that'll
crazy
make you
shit.
want to kill yourself.
Well, here's the real question before we get out of that scene. Which flavor of ice cream would you go back for?
Not fucking Apple. I know that.
That
Holy
was such a
shit,
weird
What a
flavor.
weirdo, dude.
Fuck did apple ice cream come from?
That sounds gross, dude.
Do they
That
even
ain't
sell that
American,
in
bro.
America?
That's-
Like apple pie is the most American dessert.
Like fruit
I've never
flavored
heard of apple
stuff
ice cream.
in like Latin America is the bee's knees. Is where it's at.
Exactly, because fruit is like treats to them, which
I
it
wouldn't
probably should be
piss.
for any
I wouldn't
healthy
piss
human
on.
being.
I wouldn't piss on
But
a
for us,
pineapple.
it's Reese's Pieces and shit.
Maybe put down the fucking Christmas
I
trees,
wouldn't
Chris.
piss on a pineapple if it was on fire. All right.
Oh man, I love
Fuck that.
pineapples now. Used to hate them, I love them now. But yeah, they probably have more sense than we do. Probably less diabetes than we do.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Apple ice cream is probably kind of good for you.
It's fucking terrible.
Cookies and cream.
Why
though.
would I waste the calories on fucking apple ice cream?
Exactly. See, that's an American way of thinking right there.
I'm an American.
Why would I
Waste
waste calories? Why would I waste calories on anything other than fucking
Why would I get anything other than butter
Triple
pecan?
fudge, Rocky Road
Fish
with peanut
food.
butter cups on
But
top.
fish food? What the
Ben and
fuck is
Jerry's.
that? Rank ass shit. No, butter pecan.
butter pecan? It's too
Butter
much crunch.
Southern gent
pecan,
right
bro.
there.
Praline. Oh,
much
butter
crunch.
pecan with praline. Oh,
I love pecans. It's too much crunch though.
love.
I've become a mint man in my old age.
I like
oh,
mint.
now you are old.
I like
I don't
mint.
fuck with mint. Nah, mint's a no in my ice
I
cream.
like when my ice cream tastes like toothpaste.
I'll still
Keep it out
clench
of
your
my
cheek till
chocolate.
I eat it.
Keep it out of my chocolate.
Here's what I like to do. I like to eat mint ice cream and then take a big swig of like really cold water right afterwards. That shit
How
just
about a
like
banana pudding milkshake from Cookout? Now that's fucking ice
That
cream,
sounds pretty
dog.
good.
I don't mess
That's
with that
banging.
pudding.
I always get mocha.
This is the southeast. So you get the fuck out.
Mocha.
Sorry.
I always get the mocha with the Oreos in it and some peanut butter.
You a
That shit is
basic
so
white
good,
girl
dude.
then. Let me get the mocha, coffee flavored.
It's so good.
I'll cook out. Get the just straight peanut butter milkshake with chocolate fudge. Fantastic.
So was Jimmy formerly fucking this older lady, Myrta?
That
she
ain't
even
the only
tells you.
person that Jimmy was fucking.
Oh,
There's a lot of those implications in here.
oh yeah. I know what you're talking about.
I wanted to see more of that. Like, I think going back to that whole lack of character conversation, like there were moments in here where there should be some real tension between the brothers that I wish we had gotten. In an American movie, that would have been the central focus of the movie.
Well, no, I think the tension isn't there because one party doesn't know.
But if you're going to bring it up
Oh.
in the movie, if you're going to bring this up in a typical horror movie, it's coming back later. Think about The Descent. It's coming back later.
Well, I like
Even
that
if
it
she didn't
doesn't
know.
come back later. Because all this stuff is happening on the fly. Like, what opportunity
what I'm
would it
saying,
happen?
man.
Would it come up?
Family is treated differently in other cultures, and it's on display here. Again, it's just another interesting wrinkle, but we are looking at this through an American lens, so our fellow Americans are probably going to shit all over these kind of decisions.
Like, we're learning in this car scene, and like what happens afterwards. just how shitty of a person Pedro actually is. Like, our hero for the movie.
He's
Like,
fucking Wolverine, dude. He never smiles in this fucking thing.
Really against his Pedro guy, Joey.
But I don't know. I mean,
Well, he
you
doesn't
hear
have
him
any
talking
good
about he
with kids.
abandons his kids. He for like 4 years. He doesn't pay child support. He has
Doesn't even call.
he has some sort of addiction problem. I don't know if it's alcohol or there's a scene earlier in the movie after they dump the body of Uriel or lose the body of Uriel, I guess, where he props a window open with what looks like a fucking fix kit. It looks like a heroin bag. Like a bag that somebody would keep their heroin in.
I'm not okay.
Well, how long have they been living in this dystopia?
Has to be
Not
long
explained.
enough for this motherfucker to grow that big ass beard.
Just saying, there's a lot of things we don't know about the circumstances of why these people are behaving the way they are, which makes you question some of the motives.
We learn
Should
about
we-
that from Mirtha. She gives us a little bit of exposition, but it's not like painting an entire picture, like giving us timelines and stuff like that.
I like Jimmy's bit about her, like how they used to bang. Basically, he was like, I was younger. So was she.
They had to have a little bit of age difference, didn't they?
Like,
Yeah,
I
this
wouldn't fuck
time.
that bitch today. But 10 years ago, that thing was fucking spitting. Jimmy finds Sabrina. And boy, does he find her. Sabrina has killed the child. I'll leave it at that. And in an emotional response, runs her over, crashing into a tree. Meanwhile, Grandma remains at Mirta's house with her oldest grandson, who suddenly begins speaking clearly, free of his previous impediments. This shit was rough, man.
I'm gonna tell you what. When she was walking down the road, and we only
You don't know. I don't want to talk about that. Y'all
we
talk
can
about
see her feet, and we see little droplets like hitting the ground, and
it. I thought she might have been like gnawing on his
Jaime
ankle or
or
something.
Himi or Jimmy, whatever, slowly pulls up, and the camera is from the
shit,
perspective of the passenger seat, looking across to the driver,
Over his
looking
shoulder,
out
yeah.
the window, and slowly it comes into focus what's going on. She's literally using Santino's body like a human fucking potato chip bag.
Mm.
And reaching into his
that's the way-
head and pulling out brain matter and fucking
is quite a visual.
flesh and like eating it. So
Sadly,
badass.
that's a very good description
So
of what she's
fucking
doing.
Cool.
These are the scenes in this film where I appreciate the fact that somebody can push the limit this far. So here's I gotta make a stop. You get freaked out at this, but can watch Terrifier 1, 2, and 3 and be like, "Oh, this is great."
Oh,
this is
yeah.
like, this is great.
Especially that third
the
one,
way,
man.
well, the
It's
way
played for
Terrifier
comedy.
does it, almost a lot of the gore is almost comical. In like
It's
its
the-
extremeness in its execution.
See, I get more stomach woozy watching Terrifier than
no, this is way worse.
The first Terrifier for me had that effect. But I think by the second one, to me, it became more satirical, if that makes sense. The first one, the woman in half, that was fucking rough. That's some of the roughest shit I've ever had to watch.
The third one with the up the ass in half.
See, you're telling me he stuck a chainsaw up somebody's ass hoodie and you didn't think there was any comedy involved?
I didn't enjoy watching it. I can tell you that much.
But yeah, this is played for like realism. Like I'm to believe this is really happening, and it's fucking hard to watch.
And it affects you. I appreciate that.
Hell
That,
yeah, it
that,
affects me.
that it affects you. It's hard
She
to be
was
affected.
twisting her hand in there like she was opening a fucking jar of peanut butter. It
I know,
was
but
She was
rough.
trying to get to the chip at the bottom of the bag.
Ugh.
the middle of them.
The one that
There's
was
one
like
was
slightly,
slightly
the one that
hot.
was
It's not broken
slightly
yet.
burnt. Everybody likes that burnt chip at the bottom of the bag.
No, you get to the layer of scoops where it's all crumbs, but you know there's one full scoop still at the bottom of the Tostito scoop. She's going for that one.
So we're on our 92nd, 93rd episode. It's a lot for something to affect us at this point. And this
It
movie
is.
affected me, and I'm sure you too as well. So
Yeah, it's definitely, like we said, a product of the alienness, for lack of a better word. This is so different than what we get fed as American audiences who get, how many horror movies do we get a year? 100? How many ones do we watch from other places around the world?
and ain't
One,
a
two?
damn one of those 100 films got a mom eating her son's brains.
Jesus Christ, you got that right. But yeah, then with Yair here doing the whole flip, like he no longer has autism, I was like, this kid is a great fucking actor. I thought he was seriously autistic.
That's true. Yeah. I thought
This
it
dude
was
just
too.
starts walking around like, "What's up, Granny? Can you fix me a fucking sandwich?"
I really like the shot of Murta saying that he's possessed, and you get the close up of his hands where like the possession's trying to
the gnarled up shit. Yeah,
work his body. That was cool.
It was a cool explanation of how like the demon couldn't take him over quickly because of his, his autism and the way his brain worked.
Like it was like it's trapped in his mind.
Yeah, it was having to like.
That's pretty wild.
Complete its own.
His mind
puzzle.
is such a maze that the demon is lost.
I thought that was really neat.
That's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. And I read a note to where when he walks in the house in front of Grandma, which for one, that's got to freak Grandma the hell
terrifying,
out. It was like,
dude.
oh fuck.
That's one of those old shit moments.
But when he throws the sheepskin over his body, it's like symbolizing a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Ah, nice. There's some good symbolism I didn't put together there. But again, we're talking about the some of the explanation of kind of how we got here in this bit somewhere when Murta is hanging out with Pedro. She says, this is how she explains how we kind of got to this. She says the corruptors of the faith, so I guess like the priests, the people in the church, were so corrupted that birthed these demons. Like they didn't exist. Rotten didn't exist until the church became rotten.
It was like they were seen as charlatans.
Yeah. Like once the church, people saw the church as corrupt, that's when all this shit started happening. So it's like the church itself becomes the rotten. I thought that was pretty cool, pretty unique take on it.
So is that
and the bro definitely banged his wife, right?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Okay. Go back.
It was fucking Zombrina. Lucky you didn't fuck her in that little hole in her head when she was laid in the truck.
That thing was oozing. The Rotten say a lot of stuff that may not be true. I don't know if that's true. I think Jimmy's a good guy.
Jimmy didn't fight back, though. Mm-hmm. He didn't push back.
No.
Like an evil
dead always gets had an actual reaction when he heard that. And then earlier, like a little bit of foreshadowing, the two brothers are having a conversation on the patio, and they're talking about, you always were a lovebird, Jimmy.
Yeah.
You always were.
Like, talking about him fucking Murta, he was like, you were always a little horn dog.
I guess that is a good connection. I took it as an Evil Dead thing.
Yeah, like they're just fucking with Ash, saying random things to mess with him. But
right.
I think the implication here was he actually might have banged her at some point. I don't know if that was before or after they split. If that makes you feel better, maybe that she wasn't with Pedro at the time. Maybe this was during the 4 year gap.
She said she was fucking everybody on the phone, boy. She was like belittling him.
She did call him and say that.
What did she say? Tampoco hambre, tampoco hambre. Talking about a little man, a tiny man.
Meanwhile, his jar's just letting a popsicle melt in his hand.
Yeah, fucking apple.
Yeah, it's
apple though.
Strawberry flavored. No, it wasn't apple. Dude couldn't get apple one. That's why he didn't want it.
Oh, shit. I might take a strawberry ice cream. I like strawberries.
Shit, not him. He ain't playing that.
We gotta start eating more fruit based desserts.
You the some bitch that gets in the Neapolitan and eats the damn pink side first.
Pedro and Myrta's search takes him to a schoolhouse filled with possessed children who deliberately mislead them to facilitate the demon's birth. They locate Uriel beneath the auditorium stage. While Pedro attempts to unearth him, Myrta prepares demon-killing equipment. Pedro, deceived by the children's lies about a nearby fire axe, leaves Myrta alone despite her protests. The children seize the opportunity to trap Pedro, murder Myrta, and destroy the equipment. This is what happens when you make kids stay after school.
Dude, it's pretty good.
Something about children at school at night, just
creepy
alone,
as hell.
Was terrifying. Yeah, I was like, I'm leaving. They can fucking have it, whatever they're doing.
Beat her ass to death with a fucking hammer.
Kept whacking.
Whack.
The way.
Did you feel bad for the kids then, Chris?
Nah, I like the kids.
This is another example of like a realistic way a hammer would be used by somebody in the same way the hat or the axe was used earlier in the movie.
It does little damage. It's not like a one-hit kill.
Yeah.
It's just like subtly getting into her skull.
Yeah.
She's just looking at Pedro the whole time.
I like the demon killing equipment. That shit was dope.
That was bad.
I mean, I didn't understand it. It looked like a fucking compass. It looked like the thing to look at the stars.
A telescope.
She's building a clock or some shit.
Here's a plot hole so Uriel overall is like his own big ass plot hole between the truck scene and how they got him under the auditorium stage, under a pile of bodies,
under a bunch of bodies, yeah,
without tearing the floor up.
Well, they had the hammer. They resealed it, right?
Oh, so they did reseal it. Okay, so these children did all this
because Pedro could like kind of tell the wood was like flimsy, right? It had been reset recently.
That and their hands were covered in like lime.
Oh, they even talk about the lime. Like they cover it with lime so you can't smell it.
I meant to look it up because I've seen this like a trope in movies since I was a child about covering bodies with lime. Like, what the
I think
hell
it helps
is
it
it? What is lime?
dissolve. It helps it
What is
like decompose quickly and without a smell.
What is lime? Some chemical powder?
Lime
or something?
is it's a mineral, right?
You put it on
Does
your
that
lawn to
any-
make it green.
Is it like limestone ground up? Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming it is.
They call it
Typically,
lime, though.
if you do what you do in suburbia, Chris, where you sow grass seed, you want to first
one of
make
those fucks.
that ground
Actually,
nice
it can
and level.
slow the rate of decomposition, but it is used primarily to reduce odors
smell,
and
right?
discourage predators.
Damn, I was thinking
So
of grass.
you put it like under your house and shit too to keep out rats and stuff?
I mean, I don't. I just put it on my grass.
Because I felt like every time I've seen it in a movie, it's been somebody hiding a dead body. So as a kid, I always thought, well, why would anybody ever buy this? They know you're hiding a dead body.
To make your
Like,
grass
that's all
green,
it's
man.
used for. That's all it's used for, is hiding dead bodies. Rudy keeps saying this like we shouldn't go dig up this fucking grass right now. There's probably a dead body there. It's
They
just for
sell
grass.
it.
It's just for grass.
They sell at your Home Depot store by the fucking pallet loads. I don't think people put
And
on dead
exactly.
bodies.
And anybody who's buying that, I'm going to assume they're killing people.
If you see somebody at Lowe's tomorrow buying 10 bags of lime, like, oh shit.
And a bunch of plastic sheeting. Sir, have you been watching Dexter? What is this shit? Speaking of which, has anybody watched the prequel?
Fuck no.
I am trying to avoid it at all costs.
Same.
Didn't want to
here.
watch the
Okay.
sequel. Didn't
Just
watch
checking.
the last episode.
It was all right.
I do know that they brought Dexter back. Michael C. Hall is in this show.
It's like
As
a
a character.
voiceover.
Voice.
No. The first
He's
scene.
not Dexter?
The first scene, they're bringing him back to life after getting shot.
Well, damn, is that how the second show ends?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't see that. Thanks, fucking asshole. I was gonna watch it for my 50th birthday.
Wait a fucking second.
Well,
So the prequel begins
It's been
with
long
the
enough,
other-
Joey. It's been long enough. The man's
So the
died
pre-
three
Wait,
times
wait,
at this
wait,
point.
wait. The prequel begins with an epilogue to the sequel?
Correct. They find him in the snow.
Oh,
And
my
Let me
God.
guess.
Bring him back to
When they
life.
hit him with the fucking
They froze him and
paddles,
sent
is
him to
when
the
he
past.
thinks, when he remembers all this shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's so fucking.
They
dumb.
Encino Man his ass. He goes to the past.
And now there's...
Wheeze the Jews.
I'm fucking confused.
No,
Let's
wheeze
just-
the Jews.
After I
Let's
learned
get back
that,
to what we're doing
I
here.
was like, can we just stop bringing this dude back to life?
Well, now that you told me that, I got to watch it now. Hoodie.
Oh,
This is
God
canon.
almighty.
It's
This
canon.
is canon. Yes.
In rage, Pedro beats Uriel to death with the broken equipment, but fails to prevent the demon's birth. The newly born demon emerges from Uriel's corpse, mockingly spares Pedro, and walks into the morning sun, followed by the children. This was a really cool alternate poster I saw doing research.
Talking about the
You see the
fingers on his
handprint
head.
on the head?
Yeah, that shit's sick. Fucking loved
I
it.
think I might have even used that for our YouTube thumbnail.
This
Shit was dope.
the thing I was talking about earlier with the blue paint. Like this kid is literally like dripping
So it's all
in,
just covered in blue paint.
blue paint.
It
yeah.
looked good.
So
However, they didn't post looks good.
The blood looked very thick.
Too
on that
viscous for you. So yeah, how'd you guys feel about this sequence here? Haunting? Who
I
knows
think,
how much you
dude,
like
when
seeing
they was
kids get hurt?
bashing this
How the fuck you feel
motherfucker's
now, dog?
head in with that telescope, like
It's not.
where like Uriel was sitting there smiling the entire time when he's getting his head bashed.
Dude's
in.
been saying kill me since this movie started. Saying just fucking kill me.
You're making me sound like a psychopath. I'm just saying I like when a movie takes it to this limit because it's something you don't see very often and it's appreciated to go to that
I
length.
got you. I like seeing new things too. This is why the last Jason movie was such a big hit for me. I like new shit.
I empathized with Pedro because he's expended all of his resources. He found Myrta, who was like fucking blade of the possessions, and she's dead. So now you're just left here, and you're like, fuck it. You know what else is there to do?
Dude, all
you might as well just
all
end it.
this dramatic shit happening at the end of the movie, it happens way too fast, in my opinion. Like, it is literally, like, snowballing down the hill, and I have no time to process what's happening. I have no time to, like, grieve for what's going on.
Yeah, it's probably a 2-hour version of this movie that's more akin for people who are really into it. But again, we're selling this to an American audience. 90 minutes is your limit, dude. You put 2.5-hour movie on Shudder, ain't nobody watching that.
I appreciate the pacing because I just felt like I couldn't, like I just couldn't breathe. Like I could come for air with so much shit.
Were you
going
ready
on.
to tap out at this point, Hootie? So this is also a Spanish language film, which we really, obviously, it's a Spanish language film. We haven't really enunciated on the fact that you're watching it in Spanish, right? Right?
Subtitles, yeah.
You fuckers didn't watch a dub version of this.
I
did
couldn't
you?
find one.
No, I watched
Good.
I watched
Good.
Spanish, but I had to have subtitles. I didn't know
you.
what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, I think
Obviously,
we
you had
could have watched it
subtitles
without
on.
subtitles.
No, obviously, you had subtitles on. But my point is,
They tried to make it where
like-
I didn't have subtitles. I was like, what the fuck is this? I ain't doing this.
yeah, if it was just in a language you didn't understand for 2 hours, they'd be ready to get off the fucking roller coaster, I'm sure.
Well, hold
But
on.
brother-
Hold on. Do you watch Squid Games with subtitles?
Yeah, I gotta know what's
I watch
going
it in
on.
Korean. I watch it in
Well,
Korean. You watch it in English, don't you?
I do watch.
Oh, you watched it
version.
dubbed? I don't do that
Motherfucker.
shit.
It's pretty
I do
bad.
subbed, baby.
Me and Joy grew up
You
on anime.
lose
so
like
it's
you
a
lose the
different style,
emotion
man.
of like the character's delivery if you do
Yeah,
that.
I can't tell if anyone's a good actor when there's a dub going
I
on.
ain't got
man.
a clue.
Yeah, I can't either. Yeah, I get it.
That white guy reading his shit from his couch. And
Damn, Michael Clark
Texas is
Duncan's
great.
the lead star in this motherfucker.
I think he's resting in peace.
I'm in the Squid Games, boss. I'm in the Squid Games.
All right, let's wrap this up. The brothers separately returned to Mirta's house and, collecting the remaining son, head home. At their shed, Uriel's possessed brother reveals his own gruesome acts, killing and devouring the original cleaner 4 days earlier, his mother the previous night, and suggesting Jimmy's mother met the same fate. The horror culminates when Pedro, while feeding his son ice cream, discovers the boy choking on their mother's hair, revealing his son's possession hidden behind the veil of his autism. Pedro runs outside and collapses in grief, having lost everyone except his brother to the demonic plague. The end.
We're never given a reason why Jimmy and Pedro never become possessed,
Despite all the killings and shit that they've done.
despite everybody around them dying.
Well, then neither one of them used a firearm, correct?
Yeah.
We gotta go back to the rules. Joy, sing the song again.
Sing it.
The body is taken over and you become a demon. Then you'll be a demon forever. You're going to hell, my grandson.
Well,
Yeah, your brother fucked your wife. Yeah.
one of the rules was do them no harm, and Pedro definitely did one of them some pretty good harm.
And Jimmy killed the core. Oh, yeah, she was already dead though.
The thing is, like, Pedro's blessed by this new demon, whoever the demon is.
He was mockingly spared, I think is how I wrote it down.
Oh.
That's the
It
thing. He's
seems-
spared, but he's lost everything. So is he really
Exactly.
spared?
That's the mocking part. It's like, you lost, motherfucker. So has Jimmy done anything to be possessed? Is that your question?
Yes. Yes.
Jimmy has to live with the guilt of knowing that he betrayed his brother.
Jimmy is slackjawed the whole fucking movie. Like, this is his face the whole
Yeah,
movie.
Jimmy's like Pedro's little bitch boy the whole time. And I think a lot of it's because of the guilt he feels.
Wearing his little hat. He's always looking over the brim, like, confused as
I like
shit.
his hat, actually.
I did like his hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, pulling the hair out of the mouth.
Like
Like,
he's
this movie just
coughing
fucking-
because he thinks he's coughing on like ice cream because he finally gets his apple ice cream. His dad has kept his apple ice
Oh,
cream
he does.
all this time. And he's coughing.
Shoves
Yeah,
that
Pedro.
spoon
All
in
of a
there.
sudden, a little blood comes out, then some gray hair, and then his grandma's golden necklace with the pictures, like the figures of the kids on it, and it melts.
He
in
said,
a-
Granny, don't.
in a pool of bile and stomach acid. I fucking loved it. Oh, so good.
Can we back up to the kid in the barn who was Uriel's brother?
Yes.
So we're to believe that he killed the cleaner and then killed his mom, but then his mom came back?
No,
'Cause
he
she
ate
was
his
there when
mom.
Uriel was there.
No, after
No, he's saying, I
Uriel
think,
was gone, he ate his mom.
Since you've taken Uriel, I've done this.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it.
And he's saying that your nephew has done the same thing to his grandma. So we're like boys. Maybe they even did it together.
So he's possessed too then?
Yes.
Okay.
He's admitting to his own possession here.
Hmm.
Hell of a downer, man. And again, downers is just not
Dude, it's just
American
one
cinema.
after
We
another
don't
of
like
this shit.
downers.
It's bang, 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 bang. And I do
And for all people
appreciate
to
it,
choose
but at
this
the
movie,
same
it's fucking
time,
me.
it's...
With the kids.
It
I guess
leaves you
it's-
feeling hopeless, which is appreciated. I liked
Happy
it. I'm
fucking
sorry.
New Year. New Year, new me. Everything sucks. I hate how everything's turned out in my life. I'm excited to go to work tomorrow.
I just enjoy what a film does that put a nice bow on it. Let's just leave the box open.
Until Dexter gets resuscitated, and then we can go back to when all this really started. When Uriel got his first little Debbie treat.
Original sin.
It started all this shit. Christmas tree cakes 2.0.
So as far as the composition of the movie is like what? I'd say it's like the cinematography is great, right?
Looks great.
Like,
effects are great.
Technically looks great. The effects look great.
The acting,
sound
some
design,
of it's great. Or
love
some
the
of it I
sound
can't really
design.
decide.
Like all the uses of like the natural sounds of like the crickets.
It's very clean to be such a dirty ass movie. All right, boys, that's all we got. Time to open up our personal museums. What piece of memorabilia you plucking from this bad boy, sticking in your tribute to the horror world?
So yeah, my choice isn't really a particular item, so I'm going to kind of cheat the system, but let me get whatever fabric that Uriel's bed sheets are made of. Because this shit has to be stronger than adamantium to carry his pus-riddled ass through the threshold of the house. Like when they were taking him out, after rotting under him for like a year.
It does give way outside, though.
Yeah, it does, but holy shit.
Took a while.
For it to hold his big ass up after a year?
What's the thread count?
Oh, you know, this thread's probably fucking 60,000. It's got to be something stupid high.
It says infinity right here. What the fuck is this?
It says right here, Wolverine's bones?
The Mexican Wolverine horns. Ain't a good, nice sheet to keep you toasty in these cold winter months ahead.
Use it as a tarp or use it as a blanket.
There you go.
For me, the one thing I kept coming back to is I want that cleaner's kit with all those trinkets, and I hope to God that it comes with some kind of manual or instructions.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of confusion. We never saw it used properly or actually fully constructed, so
it's always just laid around.
Good luck, bud. Yeah, I'm going to go keep it simple, too. Give me the demon compass. That's the only part of this that had any bearing of something I could actually recognize, so maybe I could use it to point out the next possession in town, in our small town here.
Try that in a small town.
Try that shit in this. Try fucking eating half a man in a small town. Not in America.
Cam.
All right.
Cam, this guy's dead. Wait, no, what's
Cam, this guy's dead.
He's just looking down. He's got his hand on the fucking exposed liver of the body it's cut in half, and he looks up.
He sticks his fingers in the intestines. This guy's fucking dead. All right, professors. Grade books out. Time to hand out letter grades for Mr. Damien Orugana. Mr. Hootie, what did you think about this one?
When Evil Lurks is a film I first watched with the elder Hootie when it came out on VOD. We usually take a Sunday before I head home to bang out at least one horror film, or maybe even two if we have time. This was a film I really enjoyed upon the first watch, although it was a wild ride then, just me and him sitting in his living room. And it may be even better after a second watch when you know what you kind of can look for. From the directing and writing to the cast of actors doing exactly enough to keep you completely uneasy throughout the film. I don't usually enjoy horror films that are foreign, but this one really just sucked me in. And this may be the best horror film of 2023 for me. I give this film a solid A. Get out and enjoy this fantastic ride.
Damn. Hootie's in a good mood in 2025.
I love this movie, man.
All right, Mr. Nasty, what'd you think?
So I've been exposed to horror for the better part of 4 decades now.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know, right? It's almost 40 years. So to truly shock me, truly get me into the headspace of experiencing a movie with true anxiety and disgust these days is a feat I consider unlikely, maybe even impossible. But 2023 is when Evil Lurks comes as close to that feeling as any movie we've covered to date. Like the personal staying power of Damien Rugna's film is that it goes out of its way to tell you, the audience, that evil is capable of anything. And it shows this through its depiction of gratuitous violence and just outright carnage towards the children, the elderly, those with disabilities, and animals. The stakes they just don't get any higher, and no one is off limits. It really pushes the envelope when it comes to its victims, and that will make some viewers uncomfortable. But for me, it ups the tension and dread to its utmost potential. Like that feeling that at any moment and anyone can experience something so terrible, so horrible. And it leaves me feeling both exhausted and thrilled to the point that the movie has an impact long after the credits roll, and that makes for an incredible viewing experience. The movie is chock full of dark humor as well, which is apparently one of Rugna's favorite things to interject in his movies. And you're on edge like the entire time. Your brain expects one thing to happen while the director totally subverts that assumption and sucker punches your idea of what comes next, never allowing you to take any sense of solitude for granted. But there are moments where it feels like the audience is supposed to feel like sympathetic or mournful with the brothers or anyone facing grief in the movie. But it feels like the rapid-fire nature of just how quickly things go to shit in the final act, especially, really doesn't give us a chance to react in that way. Like, the only feeling I really have is shock at the nature of the evil, the violence, and the carnage, with the empathy of loss being just that, lost on me personally. With all that said, though, 2023's When Evil Lurks grades out with a B.
All right, so this one was my choice going into it blind. It's definitely one of those movies where halfway through I asked myself why I personally chose this one, mostly because of the kiddo stuff. But with all that being said, When Evil Lurks is a gnarly Argentinian possession flick. It's got a killer premise about the quote-unquote rotten ones, people infected by evil who are basically time bombs waiting to explode. Practical effects here are sick, especially that ICP axe to the forehead scene. That's just going to stick with me for a long time, let alone a pregnant woman doing that to herself. I did like the movie. The pacing, like Hootie said, was nice and quick, but I think that kind of bit it in the ass a bit with the third act kind of being rushed. I was a little confused about exactly what was going on in the schoolhouse. It may just be chalked up to me trying to take it all in on the first watch while doing all my notes around the holiday season. Busy times. And some of the mythology, like we were pointing out, for me, could have done a little bit more showing than telling. I do like the ideas presented here, but maybe a tad more world building would have done more for showing ideas to a non-Argentinian audience, if you will. Props for the brutal violence and the creepy atmosphere. This is far better than most possession movies you'll find out there, and it's definitely worth a watch if you were down for some South American folk horror with a little gore on top. So, Mr. Damien Rugna will leave my class with a B+ for this film.
So we all enjoyed the film.
It was good. I have a feeling just from that trailer that it was going to be good, and it delivered. It's like the South American Evil Dead. It's kind of how I feel in retrospect now.
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
All right, recapping our Mater Meter game here. We take a guess at the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. If we are within 5 points, we choose the next flick. Otherwise, we get a random assignment. Since this was my choice, a.k.a. I could have looked at it beforehand, I abstained from guessing. So, recapping scores. Joey the low man at a 70. Hootie the big man that he is at an 84 because he loves the nihilism. Actual audience score on this was a 79. Ding, ding, ding. Puts Ryan Hootie.
Boom.
5 points. 5 big ones, just in the limits of opening the door to himself. So, without further ado, Mr. Hootie, what are we going to be watching next?
I feel like we might need to come up for air after watching When Evil Lurks. Maybe laugh a little bit.
Maybe a little more comedy.
I have a list here, but most of them are pretty gruesome watches after this. So with that, I am going to pick a fun film I have not watched in probably 20 years, and that is John Carpenter's Vampires.
Oh, Jesus Christ. What year was this?
I think it's like 97, 98.
Yes.
This is James Wood and fucking Baldwin. Which one of the Baldwins?
The one nobody knows.
Daniel.
Doug Daniel. There you go.
Pretty sure it's Daniel. Let me think about that. Jesus, man. I haven't thought about this movie
I remember
in a long
jerking
time.
off to this
Other
movie.
than when you fuckers bring it up on a constant basis. Do you remember if you finished?
It's how I always finish. Ain't never been a time I jerked off I didn't
Just
finish.
throwing it out there.
What the fuck's the point?
Well, alrighty, folks. We are going to hop on YouTube and watch a trailer together for John Carpenter's 1998 classic. At least for the three of us, probably.
Nobody talks about this film.
Film vampires.
Why do you fucking think no one talks about this shit?
Because H2O came out the same year, man.
You
It was
some
fucking
bitches
Halloween
love-
underwater.
Love John Carpenter.
No, I like this movie.
Johnny C, man, he's a legend. So if you want to watch along with us, you can hop on
James
YouTube
Woods
and
in
do
this movie is so fucking good.
Otherwise, catch us back here in a few moments.
I'll go ahead and say 30.
Shit, that was quick. All right.
I'll go
Well,
fucking
Joy-
low.
Joy getting ahead of the cart here with his, or getting behind the horse here with his cart. Hoodie's not guessing since this was his choice on Rotten Tomatoes. Joy thinks this is a 30.
After
It's
that
John
trailer, you
Carpenter,
think it's a
man.
30.
Oh, I think
People
I
love this.
enjoyed it, but it's like, you know what? You're probably right. It's just probably closer to about like a 60.
Shit, I'm going to say 65.
There you go. I talked somebody into it.
What do you know?
Fucking Marilyn Manson up in here. Let's go.
Oh, wow.
Let's see. Let me do a quick Google for you good folks out there. Looks like you can stream this movie for free on Pluto TV. Shout
talking
out
about it.
Pluto TV.
I am the man of the people.
You can rent or buy wherever you choose to do those things as well, of course. With that being said, thank you for listening. Check out horriblefilmschool.com to find links to episodes, social channels, and the merch store. And as always, you can support us for free in 3 simple ways. Rate, review, and subscribe. If you're feeling generous, send us some nice, clean, non-rotted bed sheets. I see you, Joy. I see you. I'm going to send my support to women, sending axes to the forehead. If you know, you know.
As always, if you're hearing our voices, spread the love, spread the campaign of the Horrible Film School. Come check us out on Instagram or TikTok while we still have it. By the time the show comes out, TikTok may not be anymore. So, if it is, oh well. And I get to go watch a film I think I still have on DVD. And I'm out.
Thanks for all the likes, the listens, the follows, the downloads. I really appreciate you guys and gals' support, as well as your time and attention. Be sure to join us next time when we join James Woods in battling the creatures of the night and vampires from 1998. Class dismissed. Should I say John Carpenter's vampire?